Hi everyone, my name is Milagros. In this video, I'm going to talk about the present perfect and present perfect continuous. What is the present perfect? The present perfect is a verb used to express a relationship or action between the present and the past. That is, the action started in the past and is still in the present. When to use the present perfect? The present perfect is used an action that began in the past and continued in the present. In the case as mentioned above, when an action starts in the past and continues in the present. Examples: Anna has lived here for more than 5 years. Liam has had 3 dogs since he was a child. Others use the present perfect. The present perfect is used in actions that have been repeated between the past and now. In the case, you must use the present perfect to explain an action that has been repeated in a specific period of time between the past and the present. Examples: She has been to India 3 times. I have read that book many times. Other use: when an action has been performed in the very recent past. In the case, if you want to explain that you have just done something or that something has just finished being done. Examples: He has just left and I have just finished reading the book. Other function: a younger over time. In the case, the present perfect is often used to emphasize a change that happened over an extended period of time. For example, my cousin has grown so much since I saw her 2 years ago. And thanks to the many months of playing, I have become an expert at Wordle. Other function: the present perfect. An uncompleted action that is expected to be finished in the negative. In the case, if an action started in the past but was not completed, you can describe with the present perfect. It's likely to be completed in the future. This situation uses the negative form to show that the action is still unfinished and often use the adverb yet. For example, the jury has not reached a verdict yet, and I haven't finished my paper, but it's due in an hour. Last function: the present perfect. To add significance to add complete action. Last, you can use the present perfect to make any past action sound more important. The present perfect is often used with great achievements or accomplishments, as well as dramatic or rare events. This make is appropriate for noteworthy events or major life experience. For example, Macbeth has killed the king. I had met the love of my life. When I use the present perfect, a lot of times the difference between the present perfect and the simple past is a matter of emphasis or whether or not the action is truly finished. However, there's one rule in particular that should be mentioned. Don't use the present perfect with a specific time. Examples: I have gone for a walk Tuesday. In the first sentence is incorrect because the present perfect no use a specific time. The second sentence is I went for a walk on Tuesday is correct because it's the past simple and use a specific time. Therefore, correct the first sentence is I have gone for a walk every Tuesday this year because the present perfect no use a specific time. How doesn't the present perfect work? The present perfect uses the auxiliary verb has or have and the past participle form of the main verb. For example, if you want to use go in the present perfect, you say I have gone. A structure of the present perfect. The structure consists of 2 parts. On the one hand, the auxiliary verb to have is used in the present and conjugate in the correct way and then the past participle of the main verb. Present perfect affirmative. are referred by using the appropriate conjugation of the auxiliary verb to have in the present and then adding the past participle of the main verb of the sentence. The structure is subject plus auxiliary have or has plus past participle plus complement. Examples: she has visited the country several times. I have walked all day long. They have studied Spanish for 5 years. We have visited that museum several times. The present perfect in the negative. The present perfect in the negative is formed by adding the negation after the auxiliary verb to have. And remember that you can also use the contraction. The structure is subject plus auxiliary have or has plus not plus past participle plus complement. Examples: they have not traveled in the last 2 years. Carrie hasn't completed high school yet. She has not eaten anything since yesterday. You haven't taken your medicine on time. Structure the question. To form interrogative sentences in the present perfect, it is necessary to place auxiliary to have at the beginning of the sentence. The structure is auxiliary have or has plus subject plus past participle plus complement plus question mark. Examples: have you visited the library in the last month? Has Thomas eaten paella here? Have they tried to convince her to forgive me? Have you visited your mom in the last month? Okay, I'm going to talk about the present perfect continuous or present perfect progressive. When do we use these terms? The present perfect continuous is used when we want to emphasize duration. Example: she has been writing for 2 hours. The present perfect continuous is used to express an action that began in the past is still occurring in the present. This tense emphasizes the duration of the action. It is formed with the present tense of the auxiliary verb have, the participle of the verb, and the gerund of the main verb. When do we use these tenses? The present perfect continuous is used for an action that began in the past and is still going on. Example: I have been living in Vietnam since 2006. Other use is used for an action that began in the past and whose effects are in the present. Example: he has been studying all afternoon. Form of the present perfect continuous. The structure, the affirmative form, is subject plus auxiliary have or has plus been plus verb ing. Example: she has been writing for 2 hours. I have been living here since 2007. The structure in the negative form. The negative form is subject plus auxiliary have or has plus not plus been plus verb ing. The structure in the question is auxiliary have or has plus subject plus been plus verb ing plus complement plus question mark. The structure in the WA question is WA question plus auxiliary have or has plus subject plus been plus verb ing plus question mark. Difference between the present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. Guess what? There is no real big difference between the two. However, when we emphasize the action, we use the continuous form. Example: we have been working hard for 2 months. Example 2: she has been having a hard time. When we emphasize the result of the action, we use the simple form. Example: he has made 15 iPhone calls this morning. Example 2: she has written a fabulous novel. When an action is finished and you can see the results, use the continuous form. Example: you're red in the face. Have you been running? Example 2: the iPhone bill is enormous. You've been calling your boyfriend in Australia, haven't you? And when you use the words ever or never, use the simple form. Example: I don't know them. I have never met them before. Example 2. Have you ever heard or anything so strange in your life? Okay guys, thank you very much for watching my video. See you next time. Bye.